Should I get rid of it? I've got a wooden muggy in here somewhere. You want me to get that?
We're live. Okay. All right, guys. Thought I'd jump on Sunday night. I'm trying to do these once every couple of weeks. I'll get them back into once every week. But yeah, I've been a bit slack. I'm dealing with someone overseas to edit my video so I can get you guys this the stuff that the footage. I've just been uploading footage and sending it across and blah blah. And I really want to. I'd be able to pump this out to you guys, but I just really want to do something nice with it and kind of pay someone who knows what they're doing and has the time, because I absolutely do not, especially right now. I thought I'd touch base with regards to the Alinicon project, because I met up with them a couple of weeks ago. I've got some information. Still need to go through that properly, but yeah, it seems like an interesting situation that's going on there. It's taken a bit of time, you know. I don't know what I can't say to and also home loans. So I'm currently applying for a home loan, and that is a very interesting situation. I went through Eurobank a couple of years ago. Home loan, just thought I'd test it out and just see what's going on. We got through the pre-approval stages, got up to a point of, hey, we can give you this much. Take it, because I just ended up changing jobs, I think, and then sort of went down a different path and was like, nah, it's fine. And then I was like, oh, I'm just going to pay for it out of my own pocket. But now I'm actually looking for something more expensive. And I thought, well, let's try the home loan application again. I know with Eurobank, I've already got things. The stupid thing is, I set up a bank account, which you have to. You've got to open up a bank account with the banks. If you go for a home loan as an expat or whatever you want to call us, someone residing in Greece, they're going to look at. It doesn't really matter where you're based, because I'm technically. I pay tax in both countries. Obviously, I'm making money in both countries. I'm a resident in Greece's eyes, because that's what we've done. But I actually said to her, I'm like, does it make a difference? She goes, not really, because we're bringing in dual income. So whichever income is the highest, that's the country that we're going to go off. So obviously it's Australia. So she's like, we're going to go with you based in Australia. So that's a 30% deposit as opposed to the 20% that you would pay with any other bank. And that was from Alpha. I think Eurobank, we got 35%. Do not quote me, but it's just around about there. Well, they're about 33%, whatever it is. That might have changed. So each bank is generally there for people living outside of Greece. Now, to apply for a home loan, you've got to have a bank account, which with Eurobank you can do overseas. You go, you book in, you've got to get all your details apostilled. You go to the consulate, you do bits and pieces and send it off. And as long as you've got a power of attorney there, which I do, I think it was a couple of years ago, they can open up an account for you. Alpha Bank can't, which is interesting. So Alpha Bank have given me what I can borrow, but they're like, you need to come into the bank in person. And I was like, well, I'm in Australia. I've given my mum power of attorney there. I've got my lawyer power of attorney. They're like, nah, it's got to be you for the first time around. Anything after that, that's fine. But for you to open up a bank account, it's got to be actually you. So luckily, I booked in with the Greek consulate a couple of weeks ago for 8 weeks from now to do another power of attorney for Eurobank. So if that all goes to plan, then I don't have to take off to Greece over Christmas, which is a legitimate situation for me, because I'd much rather not fly there for 2 weeks just to deal with Greek banks. And if it's going to be 2 weeks, it might be a month, and then I'm back there again in summertime or whatever it is. So I'll keep you guys posted on that kind of stuff. But it's easy yet difficult at the same time. So basically, what they want to see is a couple of years worth of your tax statements in Australia, wherever you live. And banks are different. Eurobank only needed 2 years. I think Alpha Bank need 3 years. Then they just need essentially a month's, your last wage, or a month's, whatever it is, like what's it called, a pay slip. They want you to get a credit check to make sure that you're obviously above board with credit. And they want to know exactly how much you owe. It's not necessarily like, I pay rent, this much on rent, this is my groceries, this is that. How many credit cards? Do you have any outstanding loans? What do you owe? One of them said it to me, and I'm going to butcher it, but if essentially they want personal loans and credit card falls under 40% of your monthly earnings. your monthly net earnings. I think that's how it goes. So, whatever it is, they figure that out. They've got their own little calculating system. But basically, she said essentially, if it falls under 40%, you're okay for X amount. And generally, whatever it is, we go off 40% factor as a rule of thumb. Then we obviously start to look deeper into everything once you send everything across. But generally, that's about it. So now it was a lengthy process last time I did it. I mean, I happened to do it over summertime. It was Christmas here. I was trying to find people that were working that hadn't gone on holidays. It was Christmas there, this and that, trying to get everything possible at the last minute and then sent across. And it's got to be physically sent across, which that's a fun time, because if you've ever sent anything to Greece on standard postage, can take up to 2 months. This post still took about 2 to 3 weeks. So it's not that things run behind. It's just that things just take a while to get there, or then the bureaucracy of Greece, just, old mate's gone for a smoke, thing has taken a day off, and it's 2 p.m. We shut at 10 a.m. today. We're only working 2 hours a week this week, whatever it is that Greece wants to do. We're cold because it's Christmas, and also whatever. But yeah. So the idea is to pull out more willing to give you something for your first home, which it isn't for me, because obviously I invest in Greece. But if it is a first home for you in Greece, then they've got schemes available, and the interest rate is live restricted. Some audiences some may find uncomfortable. What themes did they find? Oh, alcohol. It's not alcohol. It's anyway. Okay, I can't lift my glass with something in it. It's not alcohol. That's for sure. Anyway, so sorry. This live stuff throws me. What was I saying? I completely forgot what I was saying. I can't even. I got my friend here, and she's like, "Nah." I was talking about. Damn it, TikTok restricted me. I forgot completely what I was talking about. If anyone has any questions or comments or concerns or anything that you want me to answer, interest rates. Thank you very much. Someone just asked me about interest rates. Interest rates, I think, are about 2.9, 3.2, somewhere around there. Which isn't much at all, given that I don't know what they are here, because I don't. But someone else asked interest rates on Instagram. I think they're around about the 3%, more or less. The bank, depending on this and that, but it's. Again, I think they give you a different interest rate as well if you're a first home buyer, as opposed to someone who's got property in the past and is sort of going there. But it's not much more than that. I think interest rates in Australia are currently 5 point something, or 5 to 6 here. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I haven't bought in Australia, and probably because of that reason, to be honest. I just can't justify dropping the same amount of money in Australia for an apartment. Realistically, I'd probably only get an apartment. And the amount of money that I could buy something there for a deposit here, to be honest, outright. Like, it needs work and whatnot, but there's money to be made in Greece. Like, now, because of what I'm looking for and what I want to do with it, I'm looking for something that's basically finished around the area of my mum, so I can, with the family, and we're looking at spending about 150K. Nothing crazy, which is obviously fine. And I think they were saying roughly the repayments would be on 150,000 euro, and that's with me putting down 30%. That the loan repayments would be around the 550 to 600 euro a month mark, over a 20-year period. Mind you, they've got 20-year loans there. I think they could go more, but I don't know. Whereabouts? Thessaloniki. I'm buying. Essentially, I've got an uncle who's severely sick, and I'm looking at sending him to Greece. It's my mum's brother. And they're going to move out because my mum's a widow. So they're going to move out together and live life together. It seems like, I'll buy you guys a bigger place. We'll take care of you, this and that. So that's been interesting. And Thessaloniki has grown a lot. When I was there over summer, I got a couple of my properties appraised, and it was crazy. I mean, the first one that I bought, which I just rented out for 500 euro this month, which is the video that I want to show you guys. I bought it for 19,000 euro in 2018. dumped maybe another, I think, let's just call it 15 all up. So including all the rent that I made back over the years, which it has not been empty. It has been empty, but only because we kept it empty just to, renovate and do some stuff. And it's sitting at about 90 or 95 or something. They've got a price between 90 and 110. So, I mean, let's just say it's 95, whatever. And then all the other properties have gone up. What are my thoughts on the Ellinikon project? I like it. I really do like it. And I had a conversation with one of the couple of the people that came to Australia. They're doing their kind of world tour at the moment. And I threw some questions at them, and I don't think they were expecting it. But I honestly think it's going to be good for Greece. I don't know how good the Ellinikon project itself is going to be. I mean, at the moment, it looks amazing, right? But what have we seen? We've seen a few buildings go up. I was looking at the tower being built, which is nuts. They're working 24 hours a night there. Google 15-minute cities. It's basically a 15-minute city. So I'll be interested. I mean, it is not basically. I'd be interested to see how that pans out. But what it's done to the market there is insane, because all the areas around there have just shot right up, and they're only going further up, and they're not going to stop. Anything that's being sold at the Ellinikon at the moment is only going up, even though they haven't even come off the plan, or they haven't, they're just on the plan. So they haven't started building for certain places that they're selling. It's essentially a gated community. You're right, Patricia. Without the gates, I think it's just free for all. But yes, it's basically a gated community. They've only got a couple of main thoroughfares through that whole area, and then the rest have got a tram system in there. They've got an underground walkway system. They've got whatever it is else. Are you across the 15-year Greek golden visa? More people using it. I was talking to him about the golden visa as well. More golden visas. She goes, we haven't really sold many golden visas. I was like, yeah, well, that's because no one's really buying the Ellinikon. Who needs a golden visa? They're generally either coming in from Europe, or they just don't need it. So they haven't really opted in for the golden visa. But the golden visa has gone up purely because a lot of people started taking advantage of it for $250,000, which was ridiculous. And the golden visa is just an added bonus, really. It's more so get a foot into Europe as opposed to living in Greece. It's not even, because once you're in Europe, you can travel the EU with your ID card. You can go and live anywhere, work anywhere, open up a bank anywhere within Europe. For Ellinikon, Maki, right near it, that suburb will lose money. Retail, I feel everything will be in the community. Yes and no. I don't know if that's true. Because don't forget that the people living in the Ellinikon, or the people that are moving into that 15-minute city, that gated community, are it's very expensive. You're not talking about the common people that are moving there. So everything's privatized. Essentially, they've got, I think, one of Greece's first private universities. Have got a private medical center, private this, private that, like private everything, essentially. Just think about it. It's privatized. It's there. So, and they had just sold a 35 million euro penthouse a couple of weeks before I had spoken to him as well. That Riviera is insane. They've picked up that whole the marina there. Obviously, they're jacking the price up. So, the owner of Scorpios is coming down and opening up a venue there, like a sister venue to the one in Mykonos. There's a 3 Michelin star, whatever it is, restaurant opening up. She wouldn't tell me what it was, but it's one, So there's a lot of, and then you've obviously got your Gucci, your Versace, Louis Vuitton, whatever it is, all that there. So the people that are going to be living in those places are not, your common people who do still need to live somewhere. Don't forget this Ellinikon project. I think she said it's injecting something like 20,000 people into the neighborhood, into Athens. 20 or 40,000. I need to check up on that actually. So the rest of it's, even though it's not really affecting, it's not like people are leaving areas like your area and going to the Ellinikon. They still need somewhere to live. So those things are just going to continue to go up as the market goes up. And I think it's only standard. Yeah, there might be a little bit of fluctuation, as there is with everything, but from what I've seen, especially around the Ellinikon, things have gone up through the roof, and they're only going up. It's insane. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, so they won't venture out into the local suburbs near Gallinamuck and Glyfada. They might. I mean, why wouldn't they check out everything as well? Like, I mean, Glyfada's not that far away from it. I think it's a 5 or 10 minute, drive, if that, whatever it is. I don't see why they wouldn't. Maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. Let's just see what it does. People had high hopes for Melbourne 20 years ago, I think it was, maybe even 25 years ago. People had high hopes for this whole new area called the Docklands, which was going to have everything in it. It's got film studios and shopping centers and this and that and da-da-da. See how the Docklands are doing right now? Terrible. They're the windiest part of Melbourne. They're so far, but yet so close to the city that there's no point. The parking's terrible. Rent's extremely high. It's just they're nice, but it's not, So it could have that effect as well, just because they're bringing all those things there. If people are like, well, it's kind of no, then they're not going to live there. But I don't think it will, because at the end of the day, they're building sort of like the Riviera of Greece there. It's going to be beautiful one way or another. The architecture, the designs, the gardens that they've got, the sporting centers and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's going to look pretty spot on. So I can't imagine that it's going to decline very quickly. And if anything else, it puts us back on the map. At least we're trying as a country. We're trying to shed that whole, 2008 GFC crisis and the bank shutting down in 2015 and all that kind of stuff. Like, at least we're trying, and people are starting to see Greece as a viable option. I mean, didn't we just make the list of the top 10 countries that are going up in price, or one of the top 10, not richest countries, but something to do? I saw Greece pop up in, and we were number 8 in some list. I need to find it. I can't. I've got all my things here in front of me, so I can't find it. But alongside Portugal and Italy as well. So whenever you mention Portugal, Italy, and Greece in any kind of list, it was probably more for who owes the most money, or who's crippled the economy, not now in a thriving country, in a thriving capacity. And that's largely due to the Ellinikon building and all that kind of stuff. They've got an IT park or something big that some international company, I think it's an Italian company that's currently based in England, or that are coming down. They're bringing 2,000 employees or something like that. So it's going to be huge. Docklands needs better schooling, better public transport infrastructure. Yeah, I agree. I mean, believe me, I know they've got a school there, which I don't know why you'd put a school there right next to the highway. But anyway, that's a whole different story. To know the strata levies. I asked her about strata levies as well, to be honest, because I said, obviously, if you're having a night porter and you're having all these things, and she's like, yeah, it's going to be taken over by a company, and we don't know yet, and da-da-da. And I guess that comes down, when it's finished, then I'll see what it needs and how much, they could say it's going to be 500 a month now, but prices change down the track, I mean, we're looking at some of these things aren't going to be finished till 2028. If not a little bit further on from there. So allowed to, obviously, because you need to go to the head honchos. But she goes, look, you can have all this information and go through it and have a chat to people about it. So I will do that. I'll put up a video or podcast or one or the other of everything. So and I am in communications with her. I won't put her name out on public, so I don't want to do that to her. But I am in communication with the lady. So if anyone's got any questions, please throw them my way, and I'm more than happy to just shoot her an email and be like, hey, let me know about this, because my followers were asking about this. Yeah, there's other stuff to say, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say. She was like, look, I've seen you say this and that, and that's wrong, and you can't really say this. And I was like, I get it. So I don't really want to say anything just yet. I need to have a chat and just figure out what I'm allowed to say. But all in all, there were some very good points, and actually points from their side where they're like, yeah, I can't say anything else. But put it this way, they're doing good, and they're doing it legitimately. Now, people might say, oh, they paid, they bribed, they did this to get permits and what. Who cares? It's Greece, man. You want to get a hit, or you're going to bribe someone. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like it's business. If you think bribes and that don't happen here, and not to say that that's all true either. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's not. Excuse me. So that's so far the Olympic on, but the schedules look, and the thing is massive. I don't know if anyone's ever been to the old airport. I flew there once. I only realized that when I went to Greece for the first time in 1997. The Greeks are starving, can't afford to live. That's interesting. I mean, I was there. They didn't look starving, and my family's not starving. What do you mean starving and can't afford to live? Where are you guys from? You're from Athens, you said. So all your family in Athens is starving and can't afford to live? They don't. Because I mean, everyone cries about being starving and can't afford to live, yet the bars are open, cafes are open, restaurants are open, everyone's out, Greeks are out. Just got back, groceries. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean, Patricia. I was very impressed with their presentation, still in thinking stage about it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I went to that presentation. That whole thing was massive. Yeah, rents are going up. Yeah, of course. I mean, people might say that we're starving in Australia as well. I mean, if you're here, it's nuts. But the cost of living is much cheaper in Greece as well. It kind of works in groceries aren't expensive in Greece. Stop it. What are you on about? Kilo of cherries costs you €5. Kilo of cherries here costs you $35. What do you mean? In what world are groceries expensive in Greece? Where are you shopping? Go to the lake here. Where are you shopping? You can gift tax-free to resident in Greece and they purchase property with it. I don't know about that. That depends on your accounting situation. Everything is full in Greece, but yeah, during the busy period, like during summer. I mean, what summer? Between May and October, go nuts. Like I didn't see anything. Like I mean, I heard it. I heard everyone. Oh, Binami, you know. Oh, they're still surviving. They're still living. They're still, yeah, fine. Okay, wages aren't as expensive. We know that. How can that be, right? Rents have gone up, but I mean, I don't know where you are in Australia, but things are not much better in Melbourne. I can't imagine they'd be any better in Sydney. Because the last time I went to Woolworths or Coles or anything like that, it's, any supermarket down here, they're not cheap and they're turning an $8 billion profit a year. I don't know. I mean, I was at a supermarket. I used to go to Masuti over there as much as I couldn't really, because why would I? We're going to Lake down the road, but it's only once a week. I go to Lake. I was bringing bags of groceries back for €50 a week, feeding 2 people. Like, it depends. What are you buying? Like, what are you buying though? And supermarkets, I mean, I don't know. I didn't find them that expensive. Like, they are expensive, but I'll tell me a supermarket that isn't. Like, I don't know. And yeah, rents, they've gone up. Absolutely, they've gone up. But I wouldn't. We're there for 6 weeks. I make much more money than my Greek friends. Yeah, and so you should, because we're on the dollar. We're on the Australian dollar. Yeah, absolutely, you should. It makes sense. But you're also, are you renting or do you have a mortgage? I guarantee you're paying 4 times more in rent and a mortgage than you are to your Greek friends. I guarantee you're paying everything 4 times more here than your Greek friends are. So it kind of works itself out. Yes, at the end, we're making a lot more money here. We've got a lot more money left over. But this whole thing of Greeks are dying and they're starving, I've heard this story so many times. And yet I'm still yet to see any of my family or friends live on the streets. In fact, we went out to Tavernas and we went out to Buzuka. So I don't know how they're doing that by starving. And Greeks are always going to cry poor. Greeks are always going to complain about everything. We know this. We've all got an uncle who knows someone who got ambushed and got money stolen from them, this and that. And we all know that one person. It's different when you live it there. Try buying a house in Greece when you're earning €800 a month. Yeah, I get that. Try buying a house in Australia as well when you're earning only $100K a year. Like, same thing, man. I can't buy a house. A lot of the young people are relying on parents' money and pensions. Same here. Like, I don't know where you live, but it's the same here. It's happening everywhere in the world. It's not just Greece. It's happening everywhere in the world. If you're coming in, you're in trouble in Greece. children because they aren't having children because they can't afford it. Yeah, and I know that they were looking at doing tax-free income for families under 2 kids. I think Poland just did it, or one of those countries just did it, and they're looking at doing that in Greece as well. I mean, again, they're looking at whether that happens or not. That's the whole thing. But I think my mum was saying that used to happen 70s back. We're not talking about Australia. We're talking about Greece. No, but I know we're talking about Greece, but I'm saying where else isn't it happening? I'm talking that it's happening in Australia as well. It's not just happening in Greece. You can't just look at Greece and be like, oh, Greece is this. Yeah, okay, but so is everywhere else. Like, I don't understand. Like, 40+ million tourists in Greece in a year. Yeah, we had a huge year in Greece. It's only going up, man. Those islands are pumping. Athens is pumping. Everyone was pumping. Even Thessaloniki's pumping, which is surprising, to be honest, because I was born in Thessaloniki, did school in Thessaloniki, have grown up, not most of my life, but I'm back and forth and lived there and all that kind of stuff. Parents moved there 20 years ago. Thessaloniki was like the Adelaide of Greece. It was a country, a glorified country town. And now all of a sudden we got tourists. Yeah, but at least we get paid on time in Australia. Who doesn't get paid on time in Greece? My friends are getting paid on time. My family's getting paid on time. Who are you dealing with, man? Who are you talking to? Did you not get paid on time in Greece? Did you do something and you didn't get paid on time? Or is this stuff that you were hearing? A lot of people hear stuff and want to regurgitate things. If you haven't been paid on time, right, let's talk. We're still better off here in Australia due to high wages if you don't pay rent and own your own home. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely, we are better off here. I wouldn't trade my life. No way. Not financially. I absolutely wouldn't. But I don't think that they're dying and starving and everyone's paid late. There are those things that are happening and they've happened in the past, absolutely. But again, they're rarities. Not everyone is like that as well. What is a rental? Just depends. How long is a piece of string? What do what are the rental returns in Greece? I mean, the way I'm doing my stuff, I'm getting anywhere between 10 to 13% return on investment a year. But again, I'm not buying things that are ready and then renting them out. I'm buying stuff that are decrepit. I'm rebuilding them, and then obviously renting them out for whatever the going price. Actually, I rent them out for under the going price because I'd much rather get someone decent in there than always hit top dollar. And once I rent them out, that's it. I don't up the rent for like 5 years. Greeks in Greece always find a way to survive and get by. Absolutely. Clearly, you've never ever lived in Greece or worked there. Most young people work in hospitality. I can assure you they don't get paid properly on time. Well, let's just say in 2008, I got caught by the military in Greece and stayed there for a year. I absolutely lived and worked there. Was born there, went to school there. But clearly, again, assuming, Elatora, Timila, Milime, Vlakias. Best areas to buy in Athens. Depends how much money you got and what you want to do with it. Do you want to rent it out? Do you want to... Airbnb is a bit sketchy at the moment, that's for sure. I wouldn't be Airbnb stuff. But let's just say, do you want a short-term rent it, long-term lease it? Do you want to own it for yourself? Depends what you want to do and how much you want to think. Have you looked into opening a business instead of investing in real estate, for example, a beach bar? It's funny you say beach bar. I have looked at opening up a business there, yes. And I am looking at opening up a business there. What exactly, I have some ideas. And I mean, again, they're just ideas. With regards to a beach bar, good old Greece. The depends where you want to go. But like, say for argument's sake, in Khalkidiki, I'll get to why Airbnb is sketchy at the moment in a minute. With regards to Khalkidiki, there's a lot of, unfortunately, there is a lot of Bulgarian mafia and Albanian mafia that have come in and sort of running those joints. I just don't want to get involved with that kind of stuff. Not that everything's like that. You can do it above board and I'm sure you'll be fine, but I just don't want to get involved with any of that. Army is not working for pay, neither is going to school. Have you worked in Greece? Yes, I've worked in Greece for long. Yeah, when I was getting out of the military, I was stuck in Greece. I took my visa. I couldn't fly back out into Australia. I got caught by the military and I got out of it. And whilst I was waiting for my exemption, I had to work in Greece. So I went and worked at Pitiani, which is a clothing store. I was working at the mall in Greece, whatever it's called, Mediterranean. So I worked there for a year, just under actually, but I worked there for a year. And about the time I was making 500 and €70, I think it was, for all 6-day weeks. Terrible. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's terrible. But yeah, it's not. And I wasn't delayed with pay. It was fine. I mean, they were a legitimate company as well, legitimate business, still around there. And so, in fact, I go past and say hi every year I'm back there. But yeah, I've worked there. I've worked few jobs there. Actually, I used to work in cafes as well before that. Again, they paid on time. It wasn't amazing money, but I was 20, whatever, early 20s. Why is Airbnb sketchy? Are you talking on your FB? No, I don't think I'm talking on my FB. I've only got TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Airbnb sketchy, like you're going to get stooged. We have released, and it's in effect now as of October. They've put a ban on about 10 suburbs in Athens where you're not allowed to Airbnb stuff. If you've got Airbnb happening before that, you can continue. But anything new, they won't allow for a year to see how they go. And that's why I'm saying it's sketchy in the sense that you might buy in an area where it doesn't fall under those 10 suburbs now, but say by the time you buy it and you convert, do whatever you need to do, and you're like, cool, I'm ready to Airbnb. They might go, actually, yeah, we're not doing that area anymore. So then you've kind of, that's all. I'm just like, it's a bit sketchy at the moment with Airbnb because they're kind of starting to turn their heads towards it as well. And you can live on €540 a month. I mean, I was 21. I wasn't, I was living with my parents. No, but a month and average rent is €300 to €400 a month. Yes, I was living with my parents, but now averages are $750 to $800. You can live off 800. Yeah, you can live off 800. And depends where you're living and how you're going to live. Like, I mean, again, here, what's minimum wage here? 70,000 a year, 60,000 a year. What is it? 60, somewhere around there. Can you live off that here? I mean, you can make do if you had to, but it's not going to be it's like anything. But not everyone's making 750. People are making 1,000. People are making 1,300. People are making $2,000. Fine. The majority on average wage, just like the majority are here on average wage as well. But yeah, it's harder, but it's also cheaper. Coffees are €2, smokes are €4. Which is basically their diet, to be honest. But anyway, so you pay rent of €500 and live on €300 for a month. Yeah, but you can live on €300 a month. Again, it's not going to be a lavish lifestyle. You're looking at it as $500. $500 here won't last you a week, especially if you got kids. But if and you wouldn't be paying €500 in rent as a solo person, you'd be paying 300 or 280 because you'd be looking at something that gets you that kind of rent. When I started with my properties, I was renting them out for 250 because I knew that it wasn't really built up amazingly, and why give it out? I wouldn't get 500 anyway. So you can find cheaper accommodation for 250 and live that way. Again, it all comes down to anything. Like, if I'm not making $500,000 in Australia, then why would I look for a place that's going to cost me $10,000 a month to live in? No, in Thessaloniki. Ευτυχία πρέπει να πας στην Ελλάδα. Όχι θες να πας, πρέπει να πας. Πήγαινε αμέσως. Δεν θα ήθελα να πας. Ναι, στην Ελλάδα ήθελα. Yeah, sorry, νόμιζα επίσης δεν ήθελα. No, ήθελες να πας. Yeah, well, έχει ζωή στην Ελλάδα. Yeah, exactly. Now, is there any data on where the majority of sales in Greece are coming from, locals or foreigners, which countries? No, there isn't really sort of like what we have here where they kind of tell you where you've sort of, what is it, realestate.com or domain, whichever one it is, where you can sort of jump on and kind of see what the area is sold for. They kind of keep everything under wraps, but realistically, no. It's again, it depends what sales you're talking about. If you're talking about high-end sales in the millions or whatever, that's internationals, mostly internationals. If it's lower end stuff like 100, 200,000 or even a few more than that, where it's and in sort of suburbs, that's obviously Greeks. But it depends what sort of sales you're looking at, and it depends where. I mean, if you're looking at Mykonos, Santorini, like those islands, then it's obviously internationals, it's not Greeks. We lost the feed. Oh, sorry guys. Look, my internet might be sketchy. Is sketchy as well. Can you turn offices into Airbnb? Not ground floor offices or in an actual building. In an actual building, I don't think they'll let you because it's a commercial building. If they're ground floor offices like a shop, yes, I bought. I'm just converting my second shop right now. My first one I bought during COVID, converted that into you convert it into a residential place, then you do whatever you want with it. Whatever you want. So if it's a physical shop where they were an office, yeah, you can do whatever you want to it. In a building, I don't think so. No, because it's zoned in it as a commercial property. So I don't think they would let you that. I can't imagine why they would. Why with renters not paying the rent? Sorry, I missed. Any issues with renters not paying the rent? Personally, no. You have a building bid out. Oh, mate, why do you want to convert it into a thing? Hold on to that. No, I had one kid who got a little yappy and was like, wanted to changed my kitchen bench because his washing machine didn't. I can't remember. And then he was like 21, and my mum was there because the place around the corner from mum. She's like, "Oh, you da." And it's like, "No, you're going to pay for it." And I think he withheld rent for like a month or whatever, one cycle. And I just said to my lawyer, I'm like, "Can you have a chat to him?" And the lawyer just gave him a call and said, "What are you doing?" And kind of just put essentially just said, legally you have to pay rent, 3 rents, and if you miss out on 3 rents, we can kick you out. And then he obviously paid up, and was just like, it is what it is. We ironed out that situation, but other than that, no. Man, I had a junkie in there the first time. We didn't even realize he was a heroin addict, and he still paid rent. I still don't know how the hell that happened to this very day. He still paid rent on time every time, and we ended up kicking him out. Right? I just changed the locks because we just realized he was a junkie. He disappeared for 2 weeks, and we found syringes in the place, which was interesting. Yeah, it's a little bit cowboy stuff over there, but that was back when things could be that way. Now you can't do that. What do you think has changed about Greece in general? There's a lot more international money coming into it, and you can, and in particular real estate. There's a lot more international money coming into it from all over the world, And one of my clients said this to me. We were there in Glyfada. He was looking to buy stuff, and I remember him saying, because we found him a place, and we said, jump on it because you're going to lose it. And he was like, no, it's fine. Within a week, it was gone. And he was kicking himself because of it. We ended up finding something else. But I remember him saying this to me, and I was like, yeah, this makes sense, actually. I never thought about that this way. He goes, in Australia, when I'm buying properties, because he's got a portfolio, he goes, in Australia, when I'm buying properties, I'm up against your other Australian. And sometimes agents will go, oh, this is going to go very quick and done. And you're like, yeah, whatever, I get it. It's going to be around for another month or 2. In Greece, you're competing with the Saudi Arabian oil tycoon, with the rich Israeli, the rich Russian, the rich Bulgarian, that are all like, how much? 1.2. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Yeah, I want it. Give it to me. That's fine. And literally things are going like that. Now, not everywhere, but in the areas that you're looking at for 1 point something, they're going, especially in Athens, near the water, near the Ellinikon, they're going. Islands, they're going. They don't stuff around because they know that they're going to go quickly. And to them, 1.1, you don't forget, we look at it in euro and then go, oh, it's Australian, so it's double for us. Them, it's 1.1. So they've either got it or they don't. So it's not, they don't go 1.1, oh no, actually it's going to be a double the price. No, it's one price for us. For us, it's double, essentially. It's double. So we kind of go, shit, we need but yeah, that's the biggest thing that I saw change. A lot more tourism, which brought in a lot more money from internationally into the real estate market in Greece. What is the process for transferring money from Australia to Greece to buy? How does the exchange rate get calculated? What are associated costs are involved, etc.? Good question. When I transferred my money, I just transfer it through my bank. I'm with Commonwealth, and I just transfer it into my Greek account there. I've got a bank with Ethniki. Simple as that. It takes. I think it can take maybe 48 hours the first time, because obviously it's a first time transaction, international, blah, 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 blah. The cost, I don't know, I pay Commonwealth, what is it, $30 a transaction, and then whatever rate they want to give you at the time. That's or whoever your bank is. I've heard Western Union are good. I mean, I've heard different ways through crypto. If you want to do that, I don't know. I just like the money's in my bank. That's my bank account. Let's just send it across. When you're transferring a couple €100,000, it gets a little, I don't want to be stuffing around to try and find a better rate. Like, it is what it is. You kind of factor it in. Associated costs with regards to transferring money or with anything else in particular? Sorry, I had a question here. Okay. Where should I get my finance from? Greek banks or Australian banks? It depends what you want to do. Like, are we talking a home loan or are you talking about a personal loan? I personally pulled out a personal loan here to buy my first one from ANZ. I've actually continued pulling out personal loans, and now I'm dealing with the Greek banks to get a home loan. Greek banks are a joke. Yeah, they can be. Yeah, I mean, they're difficult, that's for sure. They're absolutely difficult. I'll let you know. I'll definitely let you know. My wife's a Greek citizen. Is there any government assistance for buying a house? Is it your first house in Greece, or is it a continuation? If it's first house, they've got that first home buyers grant thing as well, like we do here. It's a little bit different. Again, different banks have different options. Get on a bank and just see what they offer. With regards to the home loan that you're talking about, I'm going through the process now. I went through the process a couple of years ago. I just decided to go against it because I changed jobs and they're like, we need you there for 3 months, whatever it was. I was like, that's fine. I'm just going to buy on my own. And I was only applying for like 50K, I think. I was like, yeah, I did it more as a trial. But the process wasn't that hard. It was just a lot of paperwork that needed to be proved. If you're there, it's a different story. Physically, if you're there, it's a whole different story because they're like, here's the paperwork, we need this, bring this back, da, 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 da. You can run around there and push things across. Here, I needed to find like tax paperwork, credit report, wages, I think proof of employment, although they didn't ask for proof of employment, they just asked for wages, which I assume is proof of employment. And then I needed to get that apostilled and then send that. That's what I did last time, so I assume it'd be the same 2 years down the track. I'd have to get it apostilled at a lawyer, which costs like $250 or whatever it cost me, and then physically send the documents off. So I expressed it, which again still takes about a week, really, week and a half. And then, the pre-approval came within 48 hours or something. It wasn't that hard because really to pre-approve you just send them all your documents and they go, yep, cool, you're pre-approved for this. Now for this to go ahead, I need all those documents apostilled and then sent to me as physical proof. And then the loan situation happens from there. Again, I haven't gone further than a pre-approval. So I will let you know this time around because we are in full launch of attack for a home loan at the moment in Greece. Now, to give you guys information, I'm kind of going through, I'm tossing up between 3 banks. I'm going through Eurobank because Eurobank lets me open up a Greek bank account from Australia. It's just a long process. I'm thinking about going through Alpha Bank because Alpha Bank gives me, only requires me to put down 30% as opposed to 35%. The only issue is that I've got to physically fly to Greece to do that as my first time opening up with Alpha Bank. Or I'm looking to chat to Ethniki because I've got all my finances through Ethniki, and I've already got bank accounts open. So hopefully Ethniki are like, it'll be an easier process and we can lend you this much and da, 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 da. But for whatever reason, I've kind of not really had much luck or fun with Ethniki. And in fact, if I get my loan through another bank, I'm probably going to just pick up that whole chunk and shift it across, to be honest, because I'd rather just have everything in one bank than have multiple bank accounts. It just does my head in. And as you can imagine, it can get frustrating. The comment banks are a joke. It's not wrong. Every time I go back to Greece, I went back to Greece last year and I wanted to pull out some money and they're like, oh, we need your tax return. You had it last year. Yeah, no, we need your current tax return. Okay, that's cool. I'll email to you. Let me pull out money. Oh, no, we can't let you get the money until you give us a tax return. I'm like, well, you didn't have no issue taking my money, did you? Like, you don't need my tax return to take my money, but for me to pull out a couple of hunch, it's not acceptable. Anyway, but that's standard across Greece. It's every bank. But yes, they are a joke. Ethniki have so many rules now. Every year I have trouble. Yeah, same. I needed to change my number to an Australian number so I can use my MBG app in Australia. Oh, why do you need to change? Because I live in Australia. Oh, you can use the Greek. No, I can't use the Greek number because it's going to cost me €80 a month to use a Greek number there. Why can't you change to the Australian? She didn't know. She couldn't figure it out. She couldn't do this. She couldn't do that. 20 minutes. It took her 20 minutes later. She calls her manager, and the manager's like, where are you putting in the digits? She's like, in the Greek bank number. And she's like, but it's an international number. Why don't you click the international column? I smoked 3 packs waiting for her to figure that out. Drank 2 flatbedders and ate 13 gyros. She's not wrong when she says Greek banks are a joke. Anyway, yeah, only 2,000 and above from the counter withdrawal. Yeah, I know. It's could you go through Bank of Cyprus or a Cypriot bank to buy in Greece? Yeah, you can. You absolutely can. You can go through any bank to buy in Greece. I don't care as long as the way it works when you buy. Do you know the way it works is. I've got a Turkish person swearing at me in Turkish. We've triggered someone here. What are my thoughts on Crete? Crete is amazing. I love Crete. Now, I'll get back to that in a second. Let me answer this question. So the way that it works is whatever you buy, you have to have the full amount at the last moment, which is when you're signing everything with a Simboliographo. You don't have to physically have it in cash. In fact, I'm pretty sure you shouldn't. And you don't have to. It could be a bank loan that is coming from the bank, or it could be you've actually immediately transferred something across and it'll take 3 days to get there. They don't care as long as you have the physical, hey, here's the transfer receipt, or here's the bank loan thing. The bank's sending it across and it'll take, this is the date where it'll come in. That's fine. But you have to have the full amount upon the completion of the property. And there's no 30, 60, 90-day settlement. There's no, backsies, turnies, whatever you want to call them. You buy, you sign, and it becomes yours on that final day. And the moment that money gets transferred immediately. The remainder of, obviously, you give a deposit to begin with, and then the remainder. Now, Crete, I've got a client who's buying in Crete at the moment. They are buying, I forgot where, I think it's Chania. Just outside Chania, there's a property that's got an old stone house on it with an old hammam, which is become a bit of an issue in the sense that it's not ancient, but it's obviously from the Byzantine era, and it's what's it called? When the government kind of protects them, heritage listed. So we had to do a lot of checks on whether or not you can build around it, what you can do to it, how to protect it, So there is a lot of rigmarole with that, but they can essentially, they want to keep the hammam, kind of protect it somehow with, I can't remember, she was saying glass or person or whatever, and then just Airbnb it. But it's a beautiful place. I've seen photos, and we're still in the process of just getting all the checks and balances. We've just sent a mechanic guy out there. We've sent a certain builder out there who deals with these, keep wanting to call them ancient, properties. And we're just in that process. And I mean, personally, I went to Crete like 15 years ago, and it's a whole different country there. It's amazing. So yeah, Crete's gorgeous. How much deposit do you need to borrow from the Greek banks to purchase? Basically 30%. Alpha Bank's giving me 30. Alpha Bank requires 30. Eurobank requires 33 to 35. And I'll let you know when you give them a property, essentially. But generally that. If you're a Greek, then it's 20. And if you're a first-time home buyer, I think it's still 20%, but I think the rate drops to something like 2.4. I think that's the difference on a locked-in 20-year contract. It's, again, different banks, different things. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. But basically 30% stamp duty. I think it's 3% of the total price, essentially, that you pay. No one really knows exactly because it comes out on the final day when you're signing with the Simboliographo. She'll punch it into a computer and go, you owe X amount, depending on where you buy, how big it is, how much it's sold for, all that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, about 3% stamp duty. Wow, I've been going for about 50 minutes. Okay, I'll answer some more questions. Do you get benefits as a first-time home buyer if you plan on using it as an investment? No. No, you don't. You need to live in it. And in fact, I think their scheme is called Home to Live or something like that. So basically, it's kind of like, I think it's basically the same here. If you can use a first home buyer's grant, but you've got to live in it for a year. I don't exactly know. I haven't really looked at the first home buyer's grant in Greece because I'm far from buying my first home there. So it doesn't apply to me. So I haven't even thought about it. And none of my clients have ever pulled out a loan from there, so I haven't really dealt with it. I'm actually currently going through home loans right now just to be able to get a little bit more understanding of what it takes. I'm even thinking of maybe going through a broker, but we'll see. But that's basically it. Well, I can't believe I've rambled on for 50 minutes. I hope I love speaking to everyone, by the way. I don't, and I never take anything personally. So we get heated. It is what it is. I switch the laptop off and I go to bed, and I don't take anything personally, and I hope that you guys don't either. These are beautiful conversations, and that I think need to be had. And I think there's a lot of bad connotations that go around with Greeks, because I copped it as well. I copped it when I first. No, you're very welcome. And Patricia, I was actually talking about you, but I really respect people that throw questions at me and throw comments at me and stuff like that, because I want to break that stereotype of Greece. I had that with my uncle. One of my uncles was saying to me when I first bought it, he's like, they're going to screw you over. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're overcharging it. And it was the best decision I had ever made. But again, that's, because people just hear, oh, someone got screwed over. Someone got this. Yeah, that happens. Absolutely. That's going to happen. If you don't know what you're doing, that's going to happen. But it's not all the time. And there are ways around that. And you've got to be smart. You've got to be careful. You just got to be calculated. Simple as that. It's business. At the end of the day, it's business, man. Don't listen to everyone. Heck, don't even listen to me. I don't know. It just seems to work for me. So I don't know. That, in all honesty, it just seems to work. I mean, knock on wood, I don't know why, but it does. So this is me giving you guys what I do and what seems to work for me. Don't do it. Go and buy NFTs. I don't care. It's just not your thing. It's not your thing. If it is your thing and I can help you out, mate. I want to live there eventually as well. I want to go live in, mate, Kalimnos. Oh, I'm trying to log off now. I'm going to take my dog to the beach. It's 11 o'clock. The poor thing's trying to take it. Is he all right? It's okay. Kalimnos. Oh, I went there last year. This place. I'm telling you, if you want to buy an island, Kalimnos. Keep an eye on Kalimnos. It's very touristy located. It's very touristy, but from Greeks, not internationals. There are internationals, but not a lot. And it's one of the only islands that's working consistently. Even through winter, they've got right now. It's their where is that? It's right now. Yeah, where is it? It's right near Kos, isn't it? Essentially, Ledos Kos. It's an hour away from Kos, isn't it? Boat ride. And my friend here, I won't say her name, but my friend here is from there. And I went and saw her family there, and we had her friends' stuff and all that. Anyway, but it's a 4-hour boat ride from Rhodes as well. So it's kind of near bordering Turkey, really. But it is beautiful. It's where they pull out the natural sea sponges in the ocean, the waters. But I remember speaking to the hotel guy that Spongeland, there you go. He was taking me to the ship. And I said, oh, is this finishing up for you now? It was like end of August. And he goes, no. He goes, we go quiet for like a month. And then he goes, then the rock climbers start up. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, oh, yeah, rock climbing season here. All mountain hikers and rock climbers all through winter. He goes, we'll probably close up maybe a month or two out of Easter, do all our innovations. Then Easter onwards, we start up again. I was like, man, that's interesting, because that island just doesn't stop. And it's not massive, but I mean, and the land there. Oh, and the property prices, they're still attainable. They are still attainable. I remember riding a motorbike, going through the mountains, whatever, just to get to the other side of some beach. I was looking at these such villas that were just hanging over the cliff face. And I was looking at land there. You can buy hundreds of square meters for 100,000 or something like that. And there was obviously the port, the main port is sort of, everything's built around the main port, and up on the hill, they've all got houses. So they're all kind of these 3-story houses, but small, because they're kind of just built upwards. And I remember looking at Spittola, it was just randomly, and it's still around. And this one, I was swiping through it. It looked terrible on the inside, but then you open the front door and it's just water. like the town, and I was like, oh my god, it was only 90,000 euro. Galenos, if remember that. Are the local Greeks gone to the islands for summer or local mainland? The local, they go most of the mainland. Depends. If you're in Athens, you're going to go to the Athens beaches. If you're in Thessaloniki, you're going to go to Chalkidiki. To be honest, you might hate me for saying this, but I think that the mainland beaches are better than the island beaches. Shoot me, but especially Chalkidiki and even parts of Athens, they're closed off. So they're warm, they're boiling, especially at night. They're calm. There's no wind. Islands get windy, get choppy, get the beaches are rocky or pebbly or whatever it is. I mean, Santorini's right next to a volcano. It's actually, I think it's still a functioning volcano. The black sand there, like the black beach, it's rocky. It's not, and the waters are much colder than they are on the mainland. So again, like with Galenos, I was there we were there end of August. When was it? End of August. Towards the end of the trip, we were there for a week. Towards the end of the trip, the water, I was like, I'm going into Melbourne water. It was cold. I was like, is this Greece or is this Victoria? Where am I? But yeah, so the islands get cold, and every island I agree, mainland beaches are amazing from Barga to Chalkidiki. That's what I'm saying, like the mainland beaches. And the good thing is it's that the locals know that. The tourists don't really know that. They're like, Ios, Mykonos, the Centre, whatever it is. Yeah, go there. Go and pay 500 euro for a hit on a packet of chips. Go nuts. But we know where the good beaches are. So Nafbakos or Kalamata, which is better investment for short-term lease. I agree. So in early October, Athens, Kalamaki. Yep, it's all amazing over there. I think my Mac's about to die, which means I'm going to have to, I got 10%, I'm getting a warning. All right, guys, I do need to wrap this up. Thank you so much to everyone who gets involved and for your support. Again, buyinggreece.com.au if you need to get in touch with me for whatever reasons, or at buyinggreece across all the social media platforms you obviously know because you're watching. I really appreciate the support and the conversations. I'll try and do this once every couple of weeks at the very least. If you have any questions or things that you want me to chat about, throw them my way, because half the time, I'm just going to get on here and just start talking Budapest and see what comes up. So I'm getting sworn at in Turkish from one guy, and then I'm having beautiful conversations in Greek with another person. So I don't know. Who knows, man? I'm going to take my sausage dog to the beach because he's going to be angry at me and kick me the whole night from here on out. But anyway, I'm going to do the lovely dance of switching everything off at once. But thank you very much. Have a lovely Sunday night, and we'll chat soon. And now. Oh, and now.